TNTRadio.live.
Online streaming.
Be a part of the conversation.
I stream it all at work, and I stream it to my phone and listen to it wherever I go.
TNT.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. We're still in the first hour of this live broadcast. Thank you for rejoining us. And before the break, I told you we're going to be connecting with a few special people in the first hour. One of those persons who I have not had an opportunity to catch up with and do the Vulcan mind melt with is hopefully on the line right now. Joseph Arthur, who happens to be, among other things, not just a talented artist, musician, recording artist, but also the host of the amazing Technicolor Dreamcast here on TNT, Today's News Talk. We're very privileged to have Mr. Arthur on the line right now. Joseph, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. Henningsen. Patrick, thank you for having me on. It's always an honor. I'm thanks, man. I'm playing some songs. Some revolutionary songs. I thought an homage to John Lennon was appropriate. And yeah, man, I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I miss our hikes. I miss our bromance. So I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, man, I'm doing okay. I got to get in shape for the hikes. I'm just coming off a double knee injury, so yeah, I got to get sort of fit again. In order to tackle Mother Nature in the way that
Camelback,
the way that we do.
Yeah, I don't know if it's age or what, but I have this like weird shoulder thing starting to happen. And I was at this my cold plunge place today, and they put these electric pads on the shoulder, and it's like for 20 minutes deep. It's called PMF therapy, and it feels like a hammer is hitting your bone on the inside through like being electric shocked. So I might be
they outlawed that. They outlawed that last century. Yeah, electroshock therapy, Joseph. I
just had it this morning.
I thought that was consigned to the dustbin of history. Yeah, you're going Don King. Remember Don King, the boxing promoter? Only in America, Joseph. Only in America. So, Joseph, I mean, first of all, let's just get a few things out of the way. I know you really want to play a song, and I really want to hear songs. I really can, but I really want to hear it. And also, I want you to tell everybody where they can see you, because you're doing quite a lot of live gigs around the world. I'm going to give you a moment to give a shout out to those as well before we exit this segment. But the other thing is, like in the last couple of weeks, I mean, you must have an opinion on this campus upheaval, these student protests. Everybody's going hysterical. The right has gone woke on this. They want a safe space on campus now from all these evil terrorist protesters. We're being told, if you listen to Fox News. What do you make of all this? Where do you stand on this one?
Well, I talked to Ruckus, our good friend Adam Ruckus Clark, yesterday about it, and he sort of filled me in a little bit on it. I mean, it started out, I guess, in Columbia University. It started out as basically an organic anti-war protest, stop funding anybody that supports Israel. That's reasonable enough. And then it got swallowed by George Soros and crew, and it's turning into the new BLM and making any of us that have anti-war sentiments seem like we're out of our minds, I guess, right? That's the design of it, seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of research on it, and actually George Soros isn't that involved in this one. He in recent years he's shifted back over to the Israeli side, although he used to fund sort of left-wing activism for Palestine, but I think he's moved to overthrow more governments in Eastern Europe at the moment. But yeah, I think, listen, there's no such thing as an organic protest in the 21st century because of the internet. Everything is organized. And it organizes itself very, very quickly, including like GoFundMe pages and donations and sponsors coming in and whatnot. But I don't think there's a very high degree of astroturfing on this. I think this is actually one of the most legitimate and real anti-war, broad-based anti-war movements, more than I'd probably have seen since the Iraq War, and before that since Vietnam. And I'll tell you what, we're so skeptical, aren't we, about the youth? And we're concerned, right, about the next generation. And the Gen Zers going all woke. The BLM thing was insane. George Floyd, summer of masking, COVID. It was just nuts. But I have to say, I am pleased in a certain way to see these young people grab this issue. If for no other reason that it's just the moral clarity of the situation. They're going to be in charge of the country in 20 years. These guys, these kids. So they've come out in support of what's clearly one of the worst crimes against humanity. And look at the gap between the youth and the older people. The older people are sending in the cops to shut them down, but that happened in Vietnam, Joseph. This is like 1968 in a certain way. Not right. Without the psychedelics, of course, but and the good music. I don't know. There's some good music.
Well, we have the music. I brought the music. You know.
But what do you think? What do you think about the Gen Zers?
I don't know. I mean, because I'm hearing mixed messages then, because I'm hearing it's like it's turned ridiculous and they're shipping protesters in from far away, and it's getting insane, and it's meant to sort of dismantle the anti-war movement. But who knows, man? I mean, there's so many different. We gotta have a confab on this, Joseph. You're getting bad information from. I'm getting. Don't talk to Ruckus too much on this. He's too cynical. He's just black pilled on this one. I can just. He's so black pilled all the time. So I'm getting the black pill information. So this is encouraging, though, that you're so sort of encouraged by this protest movement that's occurring right now. So. Yeah. And with that, we definitely need music. Music is a huge part of anti-war protests. So that's
you've done a couple of amazing. I've been playing your Father's Cry track on Sunday Wire. I'll play it again on the live broadcast this Sunday during the intermission. It's just an amazing song. That Ceasefire Now, which you also recorded right on the onset of the crisis. So right. you've made a great contribution yourself, Joseph, to this cause, if you will, to raise awareness, to use your art, to use your talent, to bring a message out to people and make them sort of stop, feel, think, and hopefully, take some positive action to improve the state of the world.
Well, that's the job of music, to sort of bypass the mind, all this divide and conquer, all this division, people getting angry, taking sides, drawing lines in the sand, and taking everything real personal. Music has the power to sort of subvert the mind and go to the heart. Even if you don't agree with the message, it's not coming at you in this way that leads to division. It's sort of a unifying balm no matter what. So I think it's really important for music to take part in this anti-war movement.
Yeah, I know you should be out there on the front lines playing, but then you will get castigated by those absolute vipers at Fox News. They hate these students, but you should be out there on the front lines bringing that good energy, Joseph.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think both sides forget all their principles? They go with the identity of an argument and they just completely throw their principles on a dumpster fire. Like, you would have thought that the right would be protecting free speech and castigating anybody that suggests safe spaces and whatnot. Instead, it flips as soon as they disagree with the sort of message of the day.
Let me tell you this, the right took it even further. It's not just enough to have a safe space of the whole campus. They want the safe space to be between our ears. They're trying to pass legislation to control how we think and our speech, and that we're not violating the ongoing elastic definition of, quote, anti-Semitism. So that's like the ultimate, that's the George Orwell's safe space, isn't it? The gray matter. So I can't believe it.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about being on the different side now? You're on the side of the woke people now. How does that make you feel?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what side I'm on. I'm on the side of freedom of speech and assembly, but bar none. And I support the January 6th protesters, their right to political dissent, to gather. Although I don't think it was wise to have 50,000 people right next to the Capitol, but that was Nancy Pelosi's and the FBI's plan. Different story. We can have a segment on that later. But I support the First Amendment, whether it's left, right, students.
Me too, man.
Whether it's farmers coming out with their tractors or pushing back against globalist policies, whatever. 100%. First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, gather, talk. It's all protected speech. There's no safe spaces in that regard. Only you're in your private home. That's it. In private spaces are private, but campuses, parks, there's public accommodations in New York. They have laws to protect. The state has laws to protect free speech. So we have to respect that, because, if we're giving our next generation less rights, then we've failed. I think in America as a generation, that is like, no matter what happens, our constitutional rights, our Bill of Rights, that is the one thing, that's the core of everything in the country, every institution, every political party, every administration, every epic, it's undergirded by the Constitution. That's I don't care what party. I will stand with somebody who is crazy woke, pink-haired anarchist to protect their First Amendment.
Absolutely. Why do you think the right has forgotten that, especially on the heels of COVID and all that happened there? How could they forget that so easily?
I'll tell you why. Because the right are not the right. The right are the left in drag. Okay, that's the truth of the matter, because these are people who have all become ninnies. They use the same Solinsky tactics that the left-wing and radical progressive movements traditionally used. Rules for Radicals handbook. The right use it because Solinsky, the neocons, radical left, they're all from the same school of political activism. They've just split up and divided and conquered in the different political parties and milieus in the political paradigm. It's all the same. These are radical Trotskyites who do by any means necessary. They'll use the underhanded tactics of their adversaries themselves if it's convenient for their own ends. Period. These are not conservatives on the right. Conservatives on the right, if you're conservative, you're going to sit back and be conservative. You can be like, go ahead and have your protest on the campus. I'll come back and check in on you next week. That's what a conservative does. But that's not what we have. So these are not conservatives on the right in America anymore. They're LARPing as conservatives. They're hysterical liberals. That's my scientific analysis on that.
And I still think at the core, it's just a humanitarian issue. I mean, if the reverse was happening, if Palestine was dropping endless bombs on Israel, I would be saying ceasefire now as well. It has nothing to do with Palestinians versus Israelis. It has nothing to do with that. It's human beings and protecting children. That's all. That's my 100%. Take on it anyway.
That's the best take, Joseph.
It seems weird that more people don't just have that sort of common sense statement about it, because it becomes this divide and conquer thing. And I guess that's the black pill that Ruckus is taking and sort of informing me on, is that the protests are great, but it's more divide and conquer and the sort of flag waving and all that kind of stuff. And, I just wish we could get on a more give peace a chance, but I guess I'm a musician and a hippie in a way at heart. So
yeah, well, that's what you should do. But hey, if these students want to go,
the shades on
and raise that's you're channeling John Lennon for goodness sake. So yeah, I mean, listen, they recognize that there's absolute injustice have gone on. They're deeply affected by it, I believe. And they want to see it come to an end. They see the moral deficit in the U.S. government level, and I find that to be very compelling.
And so, though, there has to be some black pill with it, though. There must be some people utilizing this as more divide and conquer schemes. It can start from a good place, and there can be plenty of people in the protest that are coming from their heart and coming from a righteous place of just really wanting peace. But then, nefarious players are going to utilize this, right? And so more division, and more chaos.
Maybe, but my attitude is, who cares? Attitude, let the nefarious or whatever AstroTurf political activists come in, as they always have and always will. So what matters is, what's the message? That's what matters. And what matters is the kids got off their behinds, got off their phones, and got off their behinds. And to me, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So that's my red pill. So if we take the ruckus black pill, my red pill, we have a purple pill.
A maroon pill.
A maroon pill. So let's take a handful of those. Just kidding.
No doubt. They sound
just
fun.
Metaphorically. Joseph, take it away. What are you going to share with us?
I'm gonna do Ceasefire Now. I got a little reverb for you. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now in Gaza somehow. How many children have to die? There are no sides when their mothers cry, and no real way to justify the death that comes from an evil sky. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now in Gaza somehow. Damage like a nuclear bomb, dressed in a kill box. People can't escape. They're told to leave, but where can they go? A genocide, some think, is biblical faith. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now in Gaza somehow. This might be the last time to raise a hand about who we are. What's this say about who we are? This might be the last time to raise a hand about who we are. What's this say about who we are? Digital images, digital lies, cut out their heart along with their supplies. The propaganda seeks to dehumanize our fellow humans and silence their cries. Ceasefire now, ceasefire, ceasefire now, ceasefire now in Gaza somehow. Without equality, there will always be war. We have all the history to see how it's happened before. Travel as equals, equality for all, or else mankind will surely fall. Ceasefire now, ceasefire, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. say about who we are.
Right on, right on. That thing has just evolved and gone to higher and higher levels. Amazing.
We did pretty good with that one, Patrick. I mean, you kind of co-wrote that with me in the Kava bar over there, not to call us out back in those days.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a story there.
Mean,
like you came up with the riff, and then
Dresden in a kill box. You gave me that line. Probably people can't escape.
It's not a pleasant. It's not pleasant to imagine the visuals there, but yeah. That's a beautiful song, and you brought it to another level with the extra vocals that you put. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
It's funny how a song like The Unconscious deals with art. It's really an interesting process, because you put art down for a long time and then you pick it back up, and then sort of the life experience that you've had, and also probably the collective unconscious life experience of that whole situation, you can feel like a wind behind a sail of singing the song, you know, and it sort of reestablishes itself. It's funny that songs are like entities.
Yeah, it's a great acoustic. Tailor-made is a great acoustic song as well. I know that's your specialty, one of your specialties.
This is not a Taylor though. This is a Gibson. That's a guitar nerd. That's a guitar nerd joke. Taylor. I know you.
That's the famous Gibson, isn't it?
That's pretty famous. Yeah. It's a Dove.
That was featured in your last video, isn't it?
It's been with me a long time, man. I painted this with an artist friend named Angebert in the Devonshire Motel out there in LA. We used to always stay at this little seedy motel called the Devonshire. We would sometimes stay there for like a month. One time, back in my rock and roll star days, there was like a family that needed help, and I remember paying for their room for like a week at the stuff like that. Crazy times, Patrick Henningsen. Let's hope more of those crazy times occur again, except more sober-minded this time. I'm going on the road. You can find my dates, josepharthur.com. They're all there now. Tour dates, some European ones, and as always, I'm TNT Radio every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. Joseph Arthur's Technicolor Dreamcast. That's my shilling for you.
Mandatory Saturday listening. Joseph's variety show is epic, and that's a great thing to have on the weekend. Plus the playback afterwards. You're going to be going to France, Joseph. You're going to be going to the UK. You're going to be hitting states in Arizona, other states in the Union. It's exciting.
Yeah. Our friend Peter Conway is going to play with me in London, by the way.
I'm definitely want to be there for that.
You
two together are an absolute powerhouse.
A pint of Guinness afterwards
on Kilburn High Road. Yeah, that's epic. That is absolutely epic. Joseph Arthur, thank you for stopping by. As always, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. We'll catch up to you very soon. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Joseph Arthur. Catch him again tomorrow here on TNT with the Technicolor Dreamcast. Let's take a break, however, and try to connect our other friend in the wings, in the green room right now, Hesher, Brian McLean, host of State of the Union, which airs right after our program here live. He's going to join us on the other side to get his take on what's going on in America. All this and more. Stay right there. We'll